Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday Special Xenos Edition. This will be my review of all of the Genestealer cult models in the Deathwatch Overkill boxed game. The next video, probably next week, will be the review of the whole set. But as you can see, there are a lot of models here. There are 39 Genestealer cult models here. Here's the book. I'll be referencing from this book slightly. And here's kind of what they're meant to look like. I'm going to have mine in a slightly different colour at some point. I'm building up my Imperial Army, so this might take a while to get these guys painted. But either way, I love the kind of premise of them. I love how you kind of infiltrate and then slowly change your populace into kind of Tyranids or Genestealers. I think it's really, really cool. Let's have a look at the models. So the first one we'll look at straight away is the Genestealer Patriarch. It does look very similar to the model in the Blood Angels box set that came out Christmas of 2014. It does look similar. I mean, it's got an outstretched clawed finger there, or appendage, and you can see all the creases and things on his brain, and he's tapping into his brain there for his psychic powers, obviously talking to either the hive or the cult itself. He's got a very sharp pointy tail, and he's stepping on this kind of like vent here with Space Marine helmet and all the rest of it, and he's holding a Space Marine helmet, which is pretty cool. Some cabling coming out of that, nice and spiky too. It's just a really, really nice, awesome, decent model for Tyranids that I'm sure you could proxy as something else, but there we go. There's the Patriarch, really nice model. And then flanking her, it's got two what they call pure strain Genestealers. So they are your typical kind of Genestealers with the claws and then the hands. Again, lovely models. They go together very well. One thing I will say is there are quite a few mould lines on the Tyranid models, probably just as many as there are on the Space Marine models. So it might take you a bit of time to clean them all up. If you can see a few on these, I do apologise. But they're two pure strain Genestealers. You can change the kind of poses a little bit. They plug in to the body, but you do have the option of having their arms higher or lower, but their heads are part of their body, and so are their legs. So the kind of running pose on a piece of terrain is going to be the same for both. But there you go, that's what they call the pure strain Genestealers. Then you get a Genestealer Magus, which is this dude here. In the instruction book, it says to put him and the Primus on 25mm bases. That's wrong. On the website you can clearly see that they're on the 32, so I think that's a bit of a bodge up in the instructions. And also another thing that leads me to believe that's a bodge up is if you looked at the unboxing, you saw there was a separate bag with two 32mm bases in. So I think that they realised that, and then they had to put an extra 2 bases in because there aren't enough 25mm bases to put these on them. There's pretty much just enough bases for all of the models, and I will say you don't get any extra parts. There's no spare bits in the whole kit, and I think I said that in the Space Marine part of the review. But here's the Magus, really nice looking model. I love this little kind of like mini Genestealer with two of his hands holding a gem and two just crouching with his legs. I mean, the attention to detail is just brilliant. He's really nice little model on the staff there. They're just going to be such a nice set of models to paint. Really nice Magus there, and I love how all of them are all starting to look like Genestealers with the raised brows and the kind of little patch of exoskeleton, or whatever you want to call it, on their foreheads. Then we've got the Primus here. He's only got 3 arms, and the first and second generation Genestealer hybrids have 3 arms. What do you have to do to get 4 arms? Do you just have to be a pure strain Genestealer? I don't know. Someone put it in the comments for me. But he's got this really nice claw, and his face, plenty of detail there. He's got this needler type pistol and a lovely bone sword or whatever that is. Again, really nice looking model for the Primus. And then you get these two little familiars. These are really cute. They sort of remind me of Grots, but for Tyranids, or Genestealers in particular. He's holding a little skull, probably his favourite. He's pointing. And then I've also got this one here, this little familiar. He's just got his tongue out, and he's just holding on to a little Space Marine helmet. So really cute little familiars there. So that's sort of like the HQ or the beasties of the whole box set. Let's talk about the aberrants. Yeah, so the aberrants, you get 4 aberrants, and there is slight posability. As you can see, they're both holding a mining tool and a skull, but you can slightly move it up a bit depending on which aberrant you choose. Both of them don't have to look like that, and likewise for the other two, you can change them as well. So you get 2 different body types, of which the weapon options are compatible with both. So you get those 2 with mining hammers or pickaxes, and these with mining tools too. See what I mean? That one with the tongue is the same as one of those, and this one is also the same, but you can just slightly, so by using the different body, it will change how the weapon is kind of displayed, if that makes any sense. Then you get your 1st and 2nd generation hybrids with claws, auto pistols and combat knives, and you get 12 of these models. Basically you get 2 of the same looking model, and they are exactly the same, unless you want to start modifying and things. So you get this guy, and they've all got the 3 arms and just a mixture of either blades and pistols or claws, and this guy's got 2 blades and a pistol. See what I mean? Look, this one and this one are the same. So although you get 12, kind of getting 6, because half of them are duplicates, if that makes sense too. And you get this guy with a cloak, tunic, whatever you want to call it, and so on. So get this guy, it's exactly the same as the one I just showed you. Get this guy. Yeah, but they are really nice models, plenty of detail. The heads only go in one way unless you chop the kind of peg off, compatible with that model, which is a bit of a surprise, but you could quite easily cut the peg off and then glue whichever head you want in there without too much of a problem. So that's the 1st and 2nd generation. Then you get the 3rd generation, and I don't know why I put these guys at the front, but I just did, probably because I couldn't fit them at the back. But these are the 3rd generation hybrids with the mining lasers, and these dudes are exactly the same. There's no difference at all. They look really cool though, and they're on the larger bases, but these are the 3rd generation. So that's kind of like the order in which it goes. You've got your Patriarch, your Magus and your Primus, along with your pure strain Genestealers, then your 1st and 2nd, then you've got your aberrants, you've got your 1st and 2nd generation, and then your 3rd generation. So as you go up the generations, like 2nd, 3rd, and so on, they start to look less like Genestealers, if that makes sense. They start to look more like humans in a way, and you can tell because they've got, I mean, their arm might be slightly getting there, but their legs look quite human. Their heads are getting that way, and they've got 2 arms, which is a dead giveaway. And then you've got the 4th generation, which very humanoid heads. So this one, I would probably say he's a 3rd generation, because he's got quite a Genestealer type shaped head, whereas if I pick this guy up, I would say he's 4th generation, because he's got all his fingers and toes, and he's got quite a humanoid head. There's no real reason why you can't just put a little bit of green stuff on the foreheads of Imperial Guard and just have them as 4th generation. I wouldn't say that anybody would have a problem whatsoever, as long as you kind of painted them in the same kind of colours as this army. You could make a sizable Genestealer cult army if you really wished. The difficulties might then happen with your 3rd, 2nd and 1st generation models. Collect Tyranids, and you've got plenty of Tyranid bits and claws and arms, which I'm sure you would have. There's no reason why, again, for your 3rd generation, you couldn't just have an Imperial Guard with a Genestealer head and maybe a couple of like little symbols or something on him, you know, just to boost this force if you wanted to use it as a 40k army. And then you get some that, I mean, this is the 3rd generation, clearly it's got really long tongue, and obviously you can see the claw on along his auto gun. He's running. You get some really nice poses. I mean, I like this guy with the goggles. That's pretty cool. And this guy, look at him. Yeah, and this guy. I love kind of how they're like almost civilians, citizens really of a hive, and we don't really get many models of the hive or of people in the 41st millennium, which is a real shame, because I'm sure many of you would love to see them. Just some civilians, or you know, gangs. Necromunda, I think that was quite popular because we got to see a different side of the galaxy, and I think that's why there's a lot of interest in these models, and probably I'd say less interest in these and him and her, because we've kind of seen it before. We've seen Tyranids, we've seen different Tyranid models, but we haven't really seen something like this before, not in plastic anyway, and not with this great detail. So yeah, these are all the 39 Genestealer cult models. I think they're absolutely incredible. As you can see, there's a ton of them, 39 for £75 or whatever, along with all your Deathwatch. I'll give you my full review in the next video. But yeah, it's a definite thumbs up from me for all these Genestealer cult models. I do wish that they didn't duplicate a few of them, because sometimes I feel that I've only got half, if that makes sense, because half of these are duplicated. Anyway, I really do like these models, but I obviously love the Space Marine models more, for obvious reasons. But I hope this video's helped you in some way. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.